सबसे आसान है बजट डेफिसिट। हाँ, क्या है? टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर माइनस टोटल इनकम। थोड़ा ट्रिकी है फिस्कल डेफिसिट। टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर माइनस टोटल इनकम कुछ ट्रिकी नहीं है, इसको रिलेट करके देखो। बजट डेफिसिट में इंक्लूडिंग मार्केट बोरोइंग्स है, सेम चीज हो रहा है, और इसमें क्या हो रहा है? एक्सक्लूडिंग मार्केट बोरोइंग्स। याद हो गया? सिंपल सी बात है। और मैंने कहा अगर ऐसे नहीं देखना तो ऐसे देख लो, रेवेन्यू इनकम प्लस नॉन डेट रिसीट या फिर डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट, उसको घटा लो। ठीक है, टोटल बोरोइंग्स आसान है फिस्कल डेफिसिट। फिर उसका प्राइमरी डेफिसिट है। फिस्कल डेफिसिट मिल गया तो क्या निकाल सकते हैं? प्राइमरी डेफिसिट निकाल सकते कि नहीं? क्या घटाना है? व्हाट टू डिड्यूस? इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट। प्राइमरी डेफिसिट हो गया। और ग्रॉस फिस्कल डेफिसिट में से क्या घटा देंगे आप? गवर्नमेंट्स लेंडिंग, तो नेट जाएगा नेट फिस्कल डेफिसिट। फिर रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट में रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर में से रेवेन्यू इनकम निकाल दोगे, रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट। इफेक्टिव कैसे होगा? जब रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट से क्या क्या निकाल दोगे आप? कैपिटल ट्रांसफर से ग्रांट्स निकाल दोगे। एंड देन व्हाट? लास्ट कैपिटल डेफिसिट जो गुड है। ठीक है, क्या आपको याद हो गया? बोलो पक्का? चलो फट से कॉपी पे लिख के दिखाओ, एक पेज पे लिखो, चलो देखे क्या दोगे। बिना देखे लिखना है, लिख के दिखाओ, देखे फट से। जितना तेज कौन लिख के दिखा सकता है? लेट मी सी, मुझे दिखाओ, मैं वेट कर रहा हूं, जल्दी करो। नहीं वो नहीं, मुझे लगा इसी आवाज करने लगा। इसी से आग भी लग रही है लोगों को। मतलब अभी कल मैं देख रहा था एक, मतलब वी शुड नॉट बी सो नेगेटिव, बट इन फरीदाबाद और समवेयर एल्स सोशल मीडिया पे दिखा रहा था। वर्मा सर से पढ़ा था ना आप लोगों ने इसके पहले, हिस्ट्री वाले, उनके घर में भी लगी थी एक बार, वो सब जल गया शॉर्ट सर्किट से। सो उन्होंने सब कुछ रीस्ट्रक्चर करना पड़ा उन्हें। दिखाओ किसने लिखा, अभी तक तो लोग लिख नहीं पाए। अरे हो गया तुम्हारा देवशीष? दिखाओ दिखाओ, तो तुमने बोला तुरंत दिखाओ। ये कंपटीशन है भाई, बाजी मारो। अच्छा पूरा शॉर्ट ही कर दिया, वाह। BD is equal to TE minus TI, FD is equal to TE minus TI, वाह। RD, CD, ERD, NFD, net fiscal deficit, and as net lending, total borrowings। चलो बहुत सही, चलो हो गया होगा आई थिंक। लिख लिया क्या? अभी लिख ही रहे हो? कहाँ गायब थी आप? आई नहीं थी ना? कल आई थी? अच्छा अच्छा चलो। चलो आगे लिखते हैं, चलो बढ़ते हैं। ठीक है, लिख लिया सबने? मैंने माय इंटेंशन इज दैट आपको क्लियर हो जाए। देखो एक बार देखा, याद किया, फिर से लिखने को दे दिया, तो आई एम वेरी श्योर आपको क्लियर हुआ होगा। श्रेय आपने लिख लिया पूरा? कुछ बच गया? मिस हो गया ना? देखो उसको, तो कहाँ मिस हुआ, क्या छूटा, क्या गलती हुई? मेक इट श्योर। इधर महीन सारे याद हो गए फॉर्मूले? बताओ इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू क्या है? इसमें टफ है, मैं नहीं समझ पा रहा हूँ। इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट मैं आगे बढ़ूंगा नहीं जब तक सबको याद नहीं हो जाएगा। इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट बताओ। रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट, हाँ अरे कुछ नहीं था, रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट में से एक चीज घटा देना क्या, कैपिटल ग्रांट्स। इसमें ऐसा क्या टफ है भाई? अगर तुम्हारा दिमाग इतने इंफॉर्मेशन को एक बार में कलेक्ट नहीं कर पा रहा है, सो यू नीड अ डॉक्टर, है ना, वो भी दिमाग वाला। बताओ, आप बताओ, बताओ मुझे, प्राइमरी डेफिसिट माइनस इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स, फिस्कल डेफिसिट माइनस इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स, यू रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट। बहुत बढ़िया, वेरी गुड। आपके पीछे कैपिटल डेफिसिट, बैठ के बताओ कैपिटल डेफिसिट बताओ, उसमें ऐसा क्या है? कुछ नहीं करना है। डेफिसिट कब होगा? एक्सपेंडिचर माइनस इनकम, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर माइनस कैपिटल इनकम, इसमें कैसा दिक्कत है? ठीक है, तुम बताओ इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट, व्हाट्स योर नेम? रुद्र, एंड योर्स काव्या, ओके। रुद्र बताओ इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट। नहीं, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट। टू द स्टेट्स, है ना? चलो बहुत बढ़िया, वेरी गुड। चलो लिखते हैं, टैक्सेशन इन इंडिया, टैक्स सिस्टम इन इंडिया, न्यू टॉपिक होगा, ये समझ में आएगा जो लोग नया जुड़े हैं। टैक्स सिस्टम इन इंडिया, ओके। So let's start. So we can say tax is a mandatory payment. क्या बताओ, इंडिया में कोई टैक्स देने से मना कर सकता है क्या? नहीं, कि नहीं मैं टैक्स नहीं दूंगा, मेरा सरकार जो करना हो कर ले। तो सरकार कहेगी अच्छा, पता सरकार क्या करेगी? 2 लिंक भेजेगी, रेड 1 मूवी एंड रेड 2, ठीक है। उसके बाद बोलेगी एक बार इसको देख लो, फिर विचार बताओ, ये मूवी था, हम तुम्हें एक्चुअल में भेजेंगे। So tax is a mandatory payment. Nobody can. So why we pay taxes? Because government fulfill our collective demands. We fulfill our personal demands by own, but we do something collectively we need, like law and order, army, policing, roads, infrastructure. We can't make our own roads now. Government will make it, and it will cost some money, so we have to pay for it. That's why we submit the taxes. Very simple question. Why we pay taxes? Because we need some collective things, collectively, and it's government responsibility. So tax is a revenue income. Now you know what is income. Tax is a revenue income, which means tax does not generate liability to the government, which means government need not to repay it to the people. Tax does not lose the asset of the government, but tax generate responsibility to the government to fulfill the needs of the people, because need are something which is everybody should capped out, and it is universal for everybody. If somebody is unable to fulfill its needs, that is poor, and this is the responsibility of the government to provide the needs. Needs is universal, basic needs, okay, like food. Then there is a concept of quality food. First of all food, then PDS. Have you heard PDS? We need water, हर घर को जल. We need sanitation, स्वच्छ भारत अभियान. We need cooked food, उज्ज्वला योजना. We need health services, आयुष्मान भारत अभियान यानी योजना. This is what, ठीक है. We need insurance, प्रधानमंत्री जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना. We need education, right to education, new education policies. So these are the schemes are related to the need of the people. So it is very important thing that, so all these schemes need money. So who will give this money? Tax. The people will give the money. This is called taxes. So why government collect the taxes? You get this? Let's come to the history of the taxes. When taxation system was started, the basic thing is that how urbanization was started in India. First of all, we were in caves or forest. Then we come to river sides, IVC, Indus Valley civilizations, and civilization started emerging there. And there was a market. When there is a market, there was a surpluses. There is a concept of taxes. Just after this, after the destroyment of the IVC, in post-Vedic period, there were cities were started emerging. These were called Mahajanpads. ठीक है. In all Mahajanpads there was a king, and Mahajanpad were started fighting each other. So there was a concept of risk between them. So whoever the king was, that he was saying to his people that I am going to make army for the protection of you people. So the expenditure of armies, its burden will be on you. So for the cause of your protection, your security, you need to pay to the king, and this is called taxes. So this was the initial phase of taxes. Okay, how taxation system was started. The king of armies, he was, and cities were concept of civilization. Taxation system was started. The basic thing is that how urbanization was started in India. First of all, we were in caves or forest. Then we come to river sides, IVC, Indus Valley civilizations. And civilization started emerging there. And there was a market. When there is a market, there was a surpluses, there is a concept of taxes. Just after this, after the destroyment of the IVC, in post-Vedic period, there were cities were started emerging. These were called Mahajanpads. Okay? In all Mahajanpads, there was a king, and Mahajanpad were started fighting each other. So there was a concept of risk between them. So whoever the king was, that he was saying to his people that I am going to make army for the protection of you people. So the expenditure of armies, its burden will be on you. So for the cause of your protection, your security, you need to pay to the king, and this is called taxes. So this was the initial phase of taxes. Okay, how taxation system was started. The king was saying that we need army to protect. Suppose Anga, Magad, Kasi. Suppose the king of Anga was saying that Kasi was supposed to attack us. So we have to make the army. Okay, so the expenditure of army, the expenses of army is being made for the people. So its expenses will be on the people. So people will have to. So they don't go the money at the time taxes. They go the portion of their production of food. And you must have heard in ancient India, it could be 1/4 or 1/6 like this. State to states, king to kings. This was the initial phase of taxes. It was more organized in medieval India. Have you heard Todermal? Todermal. Todermal was the person who was working in, he was the finance minister of Akbar. So he started the Hasala, something like that. So he organized more taxes of the people. Again, when you come to modern India, in British era, there was a certain way of getting taxes. Have you heard permanent settlement? Mahalwadi, Rayatwadi, these were the process of collecting taxes. And what has happened after independence? Government has also started to getting the taxes because the purpose was the same. For army, for police, for law and order, and everything. Is it okay? So this was the history of taxes. So right now taxes are more organized. So look, tax. What is tax? Tax is a mandatory payment which is paid by people in favor of the government. Which is paid by the people in favor of the government. Tax is a revenue income of the government. Tax is a revenue income of the government. Which is paid by the people in favor of the government. Tax is a revenue income of the government. Tax is a revenue income of the government. Revenue income of the government. It does not create liability to the government. It does not create liability to the government. But it creates responsibility to the government. But it creates responsibility to the government. Comma, to fulfill collective demands of the people. To fulfill collective demands of the people, like roads, comma, law and order, hospitals, schools, army, etc. Para change. In India, tax is levied and imposed in 3 stages. In India, tax is levied and imposed in 3 stages. Tax is levied and imposed in 3 stages. 1, on center level. Second, state level, and by local bodies. Okay? देखो, center, states and local bodies. 3 stages. ये imposed भी कहते हैं. There are few taxes which is imposed by center. There are few taxes which is imposed by states. And there are few taxes which is imposed by the local bodies. And all collect the taxes. For example, if you're talking about taxes imposed by local bodies, like house tax, it is imposed by municipal corporation, house taxes. Water taxes, which is for water supply, like market taxes or fair taxes, जब मेला लगता है तो लोकल लेवल पे जिला पंचायत, नगर पंचायत, वहां के लोग भी टैक्सेस क्या होता है लेते हैं. Just say the few taxes by states, entertainment tax, okay, or you can say that, I mean, sale tax. If you entering in some states, they impose entry tax. So these are the taxes. Excise duty on what? Alcohol. It is imposed and levied by the state government. So these are the taxes which is imposed by the state government. Central government taxes like what? Corporate tax, income tax, capital gain tax, fringe benefit tax, Google tax, several taxes there which is imposed by the center. Do you get this? There are 3 stages of tax are imposed and levied. It means that decentralization of taxation. All bodies had power to impose taxes, but nobody can, ऐसा नहीं है कोई इंडिविजुअल करके कहा कि अब मैं टैक्स लगाऊंगा. ओके, ऐसा नहीं कोई कर सकता है कि मान लो कोई इंस्टीट्यूशन ही आ गया, that now I will pay the taxes. ठीक है, या I will, taxation can be imposed by authorized people only, and it has been explained in Indian Constitution also. लिखो, according to Article 265 of Indian Constitution, underline it. According to Article 265 of Indian Constitution, Indian Constitutions, comma, I noted comma, no tax shall be levied or collected except by the authority of law. Except by the authority of law. Collected or levied except by the authority of law. According to 7th schedule of Indian Constitution, according to 7th schedule of Indian Constitutions, Indian Constitution, the taxation power has been defined for center and states. Para change. So we can say that a fair, transparent and effective tax system is a is a backbone of self-reliant and inclusive economy. Self-reliant and inclusive economy. ठीक है. Para change. Broadly, taxes are divided into two parts. Broadly, taxes are divided into two parts. One is what? क्या लिखा है? So let's see the difference between direct tax and indirect tax. One is direct tax and second is indirect tax. Okay. Let's see. Direct tax. Direct tax में मैंने बोला था कि suppose it's income tax. It's your income, so you have to pay now. Nobody else will pay your income tax because income is generated by you. So direct tax means it is imposed and levied by the same destinations. Indirect tax is it is imposed and levied in different directions at different destinations. For example, GST. GST is imposed on the businessman, but he replaces to on the head of the customers. So it is imposed somewhere else, but it is being collected from somewhere else. This is indirect tax. This is a basic difference. So the burden of tax in direct tax cannot be transferred to some other's head, but the burden of taxation in indirect tax can be transferred to the some other's hand. ठीक है? थोड़ा लिखो direct tax. These are the taxes which are imposed and levied at the same destination. Which are imposed and levied at the same destination. Which are imposed and levied at the same destination. Look at the indirect taxes. These are the taxes which are imposed and levied from different destinations. Which are imposed and levied from different destinations. Next, look at the burden of this tax. ठीक है? The burden of this tax can be shifted to another set. It can be transferred to another set. Burden of this tax can be transferred to another set. Burden of this tax can be transferred to another set. It cannot be transferred. Direct में हम लिख रहे हैं ना? बोलो. So can't be transferred to another set. And indirect taxes, it can be transferred to another set. लिखो. The tax base for direct taxes are income or profit. Direct tax में आओ, direct tax. The tax base for direct taxes are income or profit. So direct tax उसी पे लगते हैं. Either you are making income or doing profits. So tax base for the direct taxes are income or profit. Indirect tax में आओ. The tax base for indirect taxes are the tax base for indirect taxes is expenditure or consumption. Expenditure or consumption. Do you get this line? Suppose you are purchasing something, so you have to pay GST, not income tax. So it is all about your expenditure and consumption. Suppose you are making some profit, like for you sell your shares and you make a profit of 2 lakh rupees. Okay, so this is your capital gain. Again, you are gaining income or profit. So there will be tax, which will be direct tax, and which is called capital gain tax. Getting my point? Suppose you are a owner of, you are a corporate, you are a owner of a company, and the profit of your company is 100 crore. So it's your profit. So you have to pay corporate tax. Corporate tax is an example of direct taxes. So the base for the direct taxes are income or profit. But the base for indirect taxes are consumption or expenditure. Go ahead. The example of direct taxes are like income tax, comma, corporate tax, capital gain tax, income tax, corporate tax, capital gain tax, etc. इधर आ जाओ. The example of indirect taxes are GST, custom duty. GST तो right now in news ना. ये कितना interesting part है. कैसे समझो. GST कब implement हुआ? 2017. Is it okay? And which government has imposed it? BJP. This government, which is the existing government. Okay. इन्होंने ही लगाया. And right now इन्होंने कम कर दिया. So they are showing it a master stroke. खुद ही लगाया था. खुद ही क्या कर दिया? कम कर दिया. और क्या दिखा दिया? हमने कमाल कर दिया है. मास्टर स्ट्रोक किया. पहले थोड़ा कम लगा लेते. ठीक है. और देखो टाइमिंग देखो. बिहार चुनाव एंड देन दिवाली से पहले. दिस इज द सीजन. ठीक है. फॉर शॉपिंग. अभी बिग बिलियन डेज आने वाला है ना. सो पीपल आर वॉचिंग फॉर इट. 23rd September बिग बिलियन डेज. और अभी से माहौल बन गया. अभी 10 डेज है. 10 to 13 डेज है. बट इट इज लाइक दिस. ओके. सो दिस इज what politics, and this is what doing politics and making it. But otherwise it's a very good news. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ. I'm not being so critical, but my point is how they are exposing it and how they are calculating it and gaining it. This is what the strategy. Okay, this is what the strategy. You were the in party, you were as a government, and you are introducing GST. What the hell? What are you doing this? You saying right now we have done a master strokes. ठीक है. ये तो ऐसे हुआ कि पापा ही ने दिया था तो पापा ही ले लिए. ठीक है. ये पापा ही क्या कहते थोड़ा और बढ़ा के दे दे. इट इज लाइक समहाउ. बट ठीक है. और इसमें देखो गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रहा है. गवर्नमेंट अपने घाटे को मैनेज कर रही है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ हमने रिड्यूस किया. सो गवर्नमेंट फोकस. अभी मैं पढ़ाऊंगा इनकम टैक्स. गवर्नमेंट फोकस है why government has taken this decision and why government has reformed Income Tax Act 1961. अभी reform हुआ ना latest. The reform of Income Tax 1961, and it has been transformed in the Income Tax 2025. So what kind of amendment has happened? I will let you know. And why government has given exemption of income tax in annual income of 12 lakh rupees. What was the reason behind it? And why after this government is also giving a kind of exemption in tax rate on GST. Both are interconnected and both are for the sake of economical revival of the country. How they will economically revive it. Because, and why middle class is full focused on it. Because after COVID-19, middle class is totally terrified. And middle class has synchronized its what? Idea of expending. The expenditure ideas of middle class has been synchronized just because of the situation of uncertainty in COVID-19. People are so much terrified. कुछ भी हो सकता है. So they are focusing on what? Savings. And what has happened? If expenditure is not happening in the economy, definitely it will slow the economic pace of the country. What economic survey is saying? Economic survey is saying that if India wants to be a developed economy, then India will have to maintain at least 8% growth of real GDP annually at least 10 years. And right now, this last week mein aaya report, our growth rate has gone to 7.1% just because of the reformal या revival actions. That's why government is more motivated. So government is saying that कि मिडिल क्लास का पैसा बचाओ, उन्हें एक्सपेंडिचर के लिए लाओ और ऐसे टाइम पे बचाओ जब क्या, अब देखो आईटीआर आ रहा है, खत्म हुआ आईटीआर का टाइम, तो आईटीआर का टाइम खत्म हुआ, जो 12 लाख वाले आईटीआर वाले थे तो उनके एटलीस्ट 60 to 70,000 बचा, क्लियर हुआ, क्योंकि आईटीआर फाइनल हो चुका है, टीडीएस वापस आ जाएंगे जैसे भी होगा, एंड देन जीएसटी कम कर दिया और आ गया अक्टूबर, एंड अक्टूबर इज अ मंथ ऑफ फेस्टिवल, तो अब झूम के लोग शॉपिंग करेंगे, जिसके पास 60 पैसे बच गए। अब देखो क्या होता, हमने सोचा था कि हमने एलईडी टीवी लेंगे, अब 12 लाख में आते थे हम, तो इस स्लैब के हिसाब से हमारा कम से कम बच गया कितना, यू जस्ट सी दिस, हमारा बच गया 70,000 to 60,000, दिस स्लैब, दिस इज द स्लैब इनकम टैक्स, ओके। सो वो पैसा हमारा बचा, और जो टीवी महंगी थी उस पे जीएसटी भी कम हो गया, जो 28% जीएसटी था वो नीचे आकर 12 पे आ गया, तो वो टीवी भी महंगा सस्ता हो गया, हमारे पास टीवी खरीदने का पैसा भी बच गया, जिसको किसको हम देते, गवर्नमेंट को देते। अब बताओ हम टीवी खरीदेंगे कि नहीं खरीदेंगे, ऑब्वियस सी बात है। दिस इज व्हाट गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग टू इनहेंस। अब देखो मैं कह रहा हूँ, ये मैं खुद नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, ये बजट की लाइन है, जस्ट सी दिस वन, इस बार के बजट की लाइन है, व्हाट दिस एस्पिरेशन फॉर विकसित भारत, aspiration for Vikshit Bharat, and just see third one. What is the third one? And you will connect what I'm saying. For Vikshit Bharat aspiration, enhance spending power of India's rising middle class. ठीक है, इसकी spending power को हमें बढ़ाना है, ठीक है, and then जब ये rising middle class spending power बढ़ाएगी तो growth बहुत तेज से boom करेगा। और ये rising middle class terrified है, किससे, कोविड-19 से, क्योंकि उसने देखा हुआ है कैसे लोअर क्लास परेशान हुआ था कोविड के टाइम पे, रिवर्स माइग्रेशन हुआ, तो इसलिए हम जो किसी चीज को देख लेते हैं तो बचा बचा के चलते हैं, ठीक है। घर में आप ही देखो, कुछ आप डिमांड करते होंगे, वी आर फ्रॉम द राइजिंग मिडिल क्लास, तो अरे काम चला लो, ठीक है यार, फालतू खर्चा मत करो, दिस इज व्हाट, ठीक है। एंड जब इनकम बढ़ती है, मैंने कहा था ना कि जैसे जब इनकम बढ़ती है ना तो कैसे डिमांड बढ़ता है, इमेजिन करो, जैसे मान लो कि गैस चूल्हा ही घर का है, कुकर है, तो जिस घर में इनकम नहीं है तो वो क्या करेगा, बोलेगा रिपेयर करवाओ, चूल्हा खराब हुआ तो क्या करो, रिपेयर करवाओ, और जहां इनकम ठीक ठाक है तो क्या बोलेगा, एक्सचेंज करो। तो अगर रिपेयर करेगा वो, तो जो अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर का बंदा उसकी थोड़ी बेनिफिट होगी, लेकिन एक्सचेंज अगर करेगा तो प्रोडक्शन के लिए डिमांड एनहांस होगी, एंड दैट विल इंक्रीज व्हाट, प्रोडक्टिविटी इन द कंट्री। कैन यू कनेक्ट दिस, ठीक है। सो रिप्लेसमेंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर इकोनॉमिक रिवाइवल, नॉट रिपेयर, ओके। व्हेन देयर इज अ काइंड ऑफ, एंड हाउ रिप्लेसमेंट हैपेंस, इट इज enhancing spending power, it is enhancing the income of the people। अगर उनकी सेविंग बढ़ जाएगी, पैसा उनके पास बच जाएगा, 6 लाख 7 लाख से आप लेते थे, अब 12 लाख के ऊपर आप टैक्स देने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, उसके नीचे वालों का पैसा बच रहा है, तो डेफिनेटली वो क्या कहेंगे कि बहुत हो गया बनवाने का, नया चूल्हा लाओ, नया कुकर लाओ। तो अब क्या, ये प्रोडक्शन के लिए क्या नया पुश होगा, दिस इज हाउ इकोनॉमी पुस्ट, ये ऐसे काम करता है। इज इट ओके? चलो नेक्स्ट लिखो। डायरेक्ट टैक्स, direct tax is a kind of progressive tax, it's a kind of progressive tax, it means it is more equitable, it is more equitable, it cares about gap between rich and poor, it cares about gap between rich and poor, like income tax exemption for poor people, where high income tax plus surcharge for rich people, where high income tax plus surcharge for rich people, income tax exemption for the poor people, where high income tax and surcharges for rich people. So what is surcharge? Surcharge is something tax on tax, okay, tax on tax. So आप बहुत rich हो रहे हैं तो उस पे केवल इनकम टैक्स नहीं होगा, सरचार्ज भी होगा, और अगर गरीब हैं तो आपको छूट है। This is what the sign of being progressive, getting my? So direct tax is a progressive tax, ठीक है। It gives exemption to the poor and high taxation to the rich. लिखो indirect tax, लिखो, it is, indirect tax is regressive in nature. Indirect tax is regressive in nature. It means it is less equitable. You know what is equity and equitability? So justice, doing justice, no? It is less equitable. It does not care about gap between rich and poor. It does not care about gap between rich and poor. For example, someone is going to buy a LED TV. For example, someone is going to buy a LED TV. LED TV. तेज तो नहीं बोल रहा हूं, लिख ले रहे हैं आप लोग ना. LED TV, comma, everyone has to pay same GST whether he's rich or poor. Everyone has to pay same GST whether he is rich or poor. So this is what regressive, na? Indirect में लिखो note. In some cases, indirect में लिखना है. In some cases, indirect tax also plays the role of progressive taxes, like in some cases indirect tax plays also progressive taxes, like imposing high taxes बैकएंड लिखो 40% high taxes, बैकएंड लिखो 40%, comma, according to next generation GST reform. This is the latest next generation GST reform 2025, imposing high taxes बैकएंड में 40%, comma, according to next generation GST reform September 2025, bracket close, on sin goods, sin goods and luxury goods, sin goods and luxury goods, comma, earlier it was at 28%. Earlier it was 28%. So how it is progressive? Suppose, अभी मैं बताऊंगा what is sin goods and. Suppose government has imposed 40%. Okay, 40% means someone is buying luxury goods. are पहले लिख लो, sin goods are those goods. यहाँ लिख लो, sin goods are those goods which consumption या whose consumption is not morally या ethically goods, which consumption is not morally good, like alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. These are the and injurious to health also, you can say that. ठीक है, sin goods. sin की हिंदी क्या होती है? पाप. तो इन चीजों को कंज्यूम करना क्या है, मतलब कह सकते हैं, है ना? So, and what are the luxury goods? लिखो, luxury goods are related to lavish lifestyle, lavish lifestyle, like branded clothes. कोई बताओ, खतरनाक ब्रांड बताओ. लुई विटो, गुची, सारा, फराडा, और भी कोई होता है क्या? आई डोंट नो. तो इतने तो मुझे पता है. फिर ऑडी, मर्सिडीज लिख लो, ऑडी, मर्सिडीज कार्स. These are the luxury ones. लुई विटो के जो बैग्स होते हैं, एलवी, एलवी के जो हैंड बस होते बैग्स होते हैं ना 5 lakhs 4 lakhs 20 lakhs सब छोड़ो। अभी कल परसों हार्दिक पांड्या प्रैक्टिस कर रहा था, ठीक है, शायद दुबई में या शारजाह में कहीं होने, एशिया कप होने जा रहा है ना। सो उसने जो घड़ी पहनी थी इट्स वर्थ इज 20 करोड़ और ये चर्चा का विषय हो गया था 20 करोड़। सोचो 20 करोड़ की घड़ी पहन रहा है वो, और हम लोग को क्या पढ़ा पढ़ा के बड़ा किया गया है कि पढ़ोगे लिखोगे बनोगे नवाब और खेलोगे कूदोगे। तो यहाँ पढ़ने लिखने वाले जीएसटी रिफॉर्म देख रहे हैं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन टैक्सेशन देख रहे हैं, और सर दिमाग खा लिए हैं डेफिसिट रटवा रटवा के, प्राइमरी डेफिसिट फिस्कल डेफिसिट इफेक्टिव रेवेन्यू डेफिसिट, और अगला बंदा कितने करोड़ की। तो खैर, लेकिन एक बात बता दो, आप लोग की जो पोस्ट है ना, वैसे बहुत से बंदे ना वो इसी चंगुल में आ जाते हैं, ठीक है। इस पोस्ट की अपनी खूबी है। आप सोचो महाराष्ट्र में आप कमिश्नर हो, ठीक है, या महाराष्ट्र का जो एसीपी होगा कमिश्नर ऑफ पुलिस होगा, जितने सेलिब्रिटीज हैं, है ना, एक दौर था जितने भी वहां से भाई फोन करते थे सब सर 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 लाइक दिस, है ना। तो ऐसा नहीं है, ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज समथिंग लाइक यू रन द कंट्री, मनी सब कुछ थोड़ी होता है। बट खैर, जो मैं बता रहा हूँ लोग पहन रहे हैं उस चीज को, एक शो ऑफ ही है। तो इस पे 40% गवर्नमेंट ने इम्पोज कर दिया है। अब इससे गवर्नमेंट का टैक्स कलेक्शन इंक्रीज, एंड गवर्नमेंट व्हाट विल डू दिस कलेक्टेड टैक्सेस टू वेलफेयर स्कीम्स, to what? Health, education, and this is what? Being progressive. So sometimes indirect taxes also become progressive by imposing high taxes on sin goods and what? Luxury goods. By which? Because, Liko, due to this, government collects more taxes, more indirect taxes, and invest it in the field of health, education, and welfare. And invest it in the field of health, welfare, and education. Next, लिखो direct में आओ। Direct taxes are proportionate by its nature. Proportionate, direct, and invest it in the field of health, welfare, and education. Next, लिखो direct में आओ। Direct taxes are proportionate by its nature. Proportionate, direct tax में आओ। Direct taxes are proportionate by nature. Proportionate by nature. It means it increases in proportion of increment in income. It increases in proportion of increment in income. Is it okay? See this. Where is the tax lab? This is a direct tax example, like income tax. So see the tax slab. As your income increases, this tax also increases in that proportion. That's why it is called proportionate tax. You get this? Because these are the areas where question asked difference between direct and indirect taxes. Several times has been asked. Is it okay? Especially in PCS also, in IS also. So you must have clarity about it. So what is the meaning of proportionate tax? It increases according to the proportion of the increment in the income. Suppose your income is approx 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, so you have to pay in the income tax 30%. If it is in between this, 25%. This is 20%. This is like this. Indirect tax are non-proportionate. It is fixed for everybody. indirect taxes are non-proportionate. It is fixed for everybody. लिखो direct tax में आ जाओ. Direct tax does not create direct impact on inflation. Direct tax does not create direct impact on inflation. Direct taxes does not create direct impact on inflation. Okay? Because, if direct taxes, if your direct tax has been increased, as direct impact नहीं पड़ता. But लिखो indirect taxes create direct impact on inflation. It can increase it or decrease it. It can increase it or decrease inflation. Like, do you know this formula? Market price is equal to, इसको बना लो like market price is equal to factor cost plus indirect tax minus this is what? Suppose this is indirect tax. It increase. Then what will happen? Market price also increase. And this is what called? Inflation. Suppose it decrease. MRP will be decrease. So indirect tax has direct impact on it. Because this is MP market price or MRP. Okay? So market price is equal to factor cost plus indirect tax minus subsidy. So if you increase indirect tax, market price definitely increase. Reduce it, reduce. Okay, likho. Next, last one. Direct taxes hit our income pocket. Direct taxes hit our income pocket, where indirect taxes hit our shopping basket. Where indirect taxes hit our shopping basket. ठीक है, hit our shopping basket. Next, so this is what about direct and indirect taxes. So make a quick revision between these differences. Just make it. चलो हो गया होगा. लिखो एग्जांपल ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस. पहला इनकम टैक्स. इनकम टैक्स. इनकम टैक्स लिखो. इट्स अ डायरेक्ट टैक्स which is imposed and levied by central government. ठीक है, which is imposed and levied by the central government, comma, according to Income Tax Act 1961. According to Income Tax Act 1961, it's a progressive tax. It means Income Tax Act 1961. It's a progressive tax. It means higher income is equal to higher tax rate. According to Income Tax Act 1961, according to Income Tax Act 1961, it's a progressive tax. It means higher income is equal to higher tax rate. देखो, direct tax is administered by CBDT. Administered by CBDT, Central Board for of Direct Taxes, CBDT. ठीक है, लिखो CBDT. अब थोड़ा CBDT के बारे में लिख लो. सेंट्रल बोर्ड डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस पूछता है. CBDT पहले चेंज के बाद CBDT is an statutory body. Statutory body which was established under Central Board of Revenue Act 1963. It works under Central Board of Revenue Act 1963, comma, it works under Ministry of Finance, underline it. Its headquarters is in New Delhi. Its headquarters in New Delhi. It forms policies, notifications, for direct taxes, comma, it monitors tax evasion, comma, black money and Benami transactions. It is called anonymous. Benami, BENAMI, Benami transactions. Benami transactions means those transactions which does not show the source of income. Okay, whose money is this? They transfer it like this. Is it okay? Why you hiding the real owner of the money? Is it okay? Huh? Yes, ठीक है, you can say it. Or money laundering, you can say like this, So लिखो. So CBDT monitors it. लिखो, it handles the DTAA, double tax avoid agreement. Double tax avoid agreement, DTAA. ठीक है, double tax avoid agreement which governments deals with the other nations. Okay. So what is DTAA? Suppose now India receives maximum FDI from Mauritius. Okay. And Mauritius is a very small country. But we do have a pact with Mauritius. DTAA, Double Tax Avoid Agreement. Okay. So how it happens? So if you have this agreement with one country, so suppose a company is invested their own investment in Mauritius and they are lifting their subsidiary company to India from there. So that investment will be considered from Mauritius, though the company is from USA. Okay, so they do not pay two-time taxes on same income. This is called double tax avoid agreement. So we do this with these countries to attract more FDIs. We know that we are losing our taxes, some part of our taxes, though, but we are attracting FDIs from this. So FDI has certain other benefits. That's why we are having, DTA, Double Tax Avoid Agreement, with several countries like Singapore. So Mauritius is a country from where we receive maximum FDI. I will let you know when I will talk about FDIs. Okay, there are certain routes of FDI like Delhi routes, Mumbai route, automatic and restrictive routes. Okay, in this, right now you see what is double tax avoid agreement. DTA is a kind of agreement which government does with other countries, and who deals it? Who take care of this agreement? CBDC. This is one. Okay. Central Board for what? CBDT, direct taxes. Likho. Para change. Income tax is paid by individuals, comma, Hindu undivided families. Income tax is paid by individuals, comma, Hindu undivided families. Hindu undivided families, firms, FIRMS, firms and companies. According to Income Tax Act 1961, Parachefs, according to Income Tax Act 1961, there are 5 types of income. There are 5 types of income, like one, income from salary. 2, income from house property. 3rd, profit or gain from businesses. 4th, capital gain on sale and purchase of capital assets. Capital gain on sale and purchase of assets. And 3rd, income from other resources like gift, interest, etc. Okay. According to budget 2025-26, according to budget 2025-26. These are the current income slabs with personal income tax reform a special focus on middle class. Personal income tax reform a special focus on middle class. In this slab, government has given exemption on annual income of government has given exemption of income tax on annual income of 12 lakhs. ये स्लैब बना लो आप, मेक इट, ये बना लो. ऊपर लिख लेना बजट 2025-26. जीरो टू 4 लाख नील बनाते चलो. 0 to 4 lakh नील and 4 to 8 lakhs 5%. 8 to 12 lakhs 10%. 12 to 16 lakh 15%. 16 to 20 lakhs 20%. 20 to 24 lakhs 25%. Okay, this is what. So 12 lakh तक क्या दिया? Exemption दिया. ठीक है. So suppose, so why this slabs? Just listen it. So ये slabs तो 12 से शुरू होना चाहिए था. ठीक है. Why like this? तो देखो क्या है. 0 to 4 lakh no tax. 4 to 8 lakhs 5%. It means 5% of 4 lakhs. 4 to 8 lakhs is how much money? 4 lakh, na? So 5% of 4 lakh, it would be 25,000. And again, 8 to 12 lakhs, again 4 lakhs, the gap. And it's 10%. It is equal to 40,000. And this is 12 lakhs. Okay. So if your annual income is 12 lakhs, so you need not to pay any income tax. You have exemption. But if it is more than that, then you have to pay this 60,000. Here 20,000 and here 40,000. It is collectively what? अब सपोज करो किसी की इनकम हो गई कितनी? सपोज करो 12 लाख 1,000. ठीक है. या 12 लाख 100 रुपीज. किसी की इनकम कितनी हो गई? 12 लाख 100 रुपीज. सो वो आईटीआर भरेगा, कितना पे करेगा गवर्नमेंट को? 60,000 15 रुपीज. कितना? 60,000 15 रुपीज. वो 100 रुपीज बढ़ने से what? This 60,000 will be added. समझ पाए कि नहीं? 12 लाख तक अगर दिखा दिया तो नो 60,000. ये 60,000 कैसे आ रहा, समझ पा रहे हो कि नहीं? 10% of 4 lakh 40,000. 5% of 4 lakhs is 20,000. Collectively 60,000. So if your income is exceeding only 100 rupees from 12 lakhs, so then you have to pay this one 60,000 plus 15 rupees. Okay, because you are going to in this slab. This is what. So this slab is not for 12 lakh people. This slab is actually for the income generator of 12 lakh to more than that. So do you know what is income? So what shows that exemption of income tax on 12 lakh income, which means government is lefting out its own 60,000. Government अपना 60,000 छोड़ रही है. It means that money is being with you. And this is what? Focus on middle class. 60,000 will be saved to everybody. और मुझे as a person मैं समझ रहा हूँ, अगर मेरे 60,000 गवर्नमेंट को जाने वाला था, मुझे बच गया, तो मैं क्या करूँगा उसको? I will expend it. And that money come to the market. It will raise the demand in the economy. And definitely it will raise the demand. So definitely it will increase the economic growth. So why government has taken this decision? But there is one chances. What? You know that when there is a demand in the economy, it will increase the money supply. And when money supply will increase, it will increase inflation. So how to manage inflation? So to manage inflation, market price is equal to what? Factor cost plus indirect tax. Government has reduced GST. So when reduce GST, it will reduce inflation. So economic growth will go on and inflation will not be increased. This is the best way for economic growth because it's government major problem how to maintain economic growth and to control inflation also. When there is economic growth, there will be inflation. So right now, government is not up to minimize inflation. They can increase their monetary policy, tight monetary policy. If they are doing tight monetary policy, so it was reducing the growth rate. So now government was doing to reduce the monetary policy, to reduce inflation, they are utilizing fiscal policy. And what is fiscal policy? Lefting out their taxes. And what is called? Lefting out their taxes means that lefting out are, exemption in income tax and minimizing the GST. So this is the new way, what? To manage, control inflation and increase the growth rate. You get this? इसमें एक और काम किया है क्या? 75,000 का स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन दिया है. आपने कहीं पढ़ा होगा, सुना होगा. गवर्नमेंट हैज गिवन स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन ऑफ 75,000 टू सैलरीड पीपल. व्हाट डज इट मीन दैट? सपोज करो एक बंदा, उसका नाम रामू है और वो यहाँ काकोरी या मलैयाबाद के पास, उसके पास आम का बागीचा है और हर सीजन में एक एनुअल में 12 लाख का आम बेचता है. ठीक है, तो वो सैलरीड नहीं है, बिजनेसमैन है, फार्मर है. इज इट ओके? तो वो आएगा इसमें 12 लाख तक. ठीक है, लेकिन मान लो कोई टीचर है, ठीक है, और उसकी इनकम सपोज करो 1 लाख समथिंग है उसकी इनकम, तो वो भी 12 लाख पे आ गया, 12 लाख पे आ गया ना. ठीक है, तो 12 लाख से ऊपर उसे 75,000 का एक्सटेंडेड डिडक्शन दिया गया. इट मींस वो 12 लाख 75,000 तक जीरो क्लेम कर सकता है. सैलरीड को 75,000 का स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन दिया गया. इट मींस दैट सपोज दिस पर्सन, ये है बिजनेसमैन और ये है सैलरीड पर्सन, टीचर है, उसकी सैलरी स्लिप आती है. तो इसे 0% इनकम टैक्स क्लेम करने के लिए लिमिट दी गई. कितनी? एनुअल 12 लाख. और इसे भी दिया गया 12 लाख प्लस more 75,000. This is what? This is industrial. So he can mention that on 12 lakh and 70,000, 75,000 as a standard deduction. Getting my point? So why this? Because अच्छा वो सैलरी प्राइवेट भी हो सकता है, गवर्नमेंट का भी हो सकता है. He can be both. ऐसा क्यों किया गया है? क्योंकि बिजनेसमैन के पास चांसेस होते हैं, हो सकता है उसकी 15 लाख की इनकम और 12 दिखा सकता हो. गवर्नमेंट कांट ट्रेस इट. ओके 15 लाख पे भी जाकर के 12 दिखा के अपने 12 में एग्जाम्शन में आ सकता है बिजनेसमैन, लेकिन सैलरीड बंदा ऐसा नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि उसकी पूरी कुंडली है, सैलरी स्लिप है, वही तो उसने इनकम पाया हुआ महीने का। इज इट ओके? तो इसलिए 75,000 का उसे थोड़ा रिलैक्स दिया गया है, स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन। यू गेट दिस? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ 75,000? कि भाई चलो ठीक है, ये 12 पे क्लेम कर रहा है, तुम 75,000 और जोड़ लो अगर सैलरीड हो, तो उसके लिए एजेंशन क्या हो गया? जैसे मान लो अगर ये 12 से 100 रुपीज भी ऊपर जाएगा तो 60,000 ऐड हो जाएगा ना बिजनेसमैन के लिए। बट फॉर सैलरीड पर्सन इट कुड बी 12,75,000। लिखो लिखो इंडिया का गवर्नमेंट का हाँ हाँ नहीं नहीं आई डोंट गेट यू व्हाट यू से। मेक अ ट्राई अगेन अगेन बोलो। 12,10,000 ठीक है। हाँ 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 नहीं नॉट एक्सपेंडिचर दैट इज योर इनकम ना। हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल वही बात है कि आप एक तो कहीं तो हमें एक ब्रैकेट बनाना पड़ेगा ना। अकॉर्डिंग टू इट शुड बी 11 lakhs या इट कुड बी 13 lakhs, so there will be someone who 13 lakhs 10,000. If we make it 14 lakhs there will be someone 14 lakh to 10,000. So it can be endless process, so we have to make a bind it. Is it okay? And uske liye ab tax lender you have certain process like you invest it like mutual funds. I've told you tax saving mutual fund ECSL. You can go it Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana where you can debate tax. You can use some LICs also. They do like this. Okay. Next, लिखो government has given exemption of income tax and 12 lakh income. लिखो आगे according to this slab middle class family will save 60,000 annually. According to this slab or decision middle class family will save 60,000 annually, comma government has taken this decision. Government has taken this decision. Government has taken this decision to promote private savings of middle class. To promote private savings of middle class, comma this saving will come in the market in the form of expenditure. This saving will come in the market in the form of expenditure. Which will lead economic activities in the country. Which will lead economic activities in the country. And country will witness economic growth. Para change. According to this budget, government has given a standard deduction of, according to this budget, government has given the standard deduction of 75,000 for tax exemptions for salaried people for tax exemptions for salaried people bracket either in government or private, either in government or private. Para change. These are the income. These are the income which has exemptions from income tax. These are the income which has exemption from income tax, like लिखो like agriculture income, comma, income from scholarship, comma, certain pension amounts, comma, gifts from relatives below 50,000. Gifts from relatives below 50,000. Okay. अच्छा देखो एग्रीकल्चर इनकम पे इनकम टैक्स नहीं है. ओके. तुमने देखा होगा हर सेलिब्रिटी के पास क्या होता है, फार्म हाउस होता है ना. क्यों होता है समझ गए. हर बड़े बिजनेसमैन के पास एक फार्म हाउस होता है. एक क्या दो दो तीन तीन फार्म हाउस होते हैं. क्यों होते हैं समझ गए. तुम देखा होगा फोटो सलमान खान की कीचड़ में लगते हुए अपने फार्म हाउस में काम करते हुए, है ना. तो ये सब उनके सीए ने बताया हुआ है. क्या कि कभी कभी दिखाया भी करो कि यू आर ए फार्मर, बिकॉज टू सेव द टैक्सेस. अपने इनकम का सर्टेन अमाउंट क्या दिखाते हैं वो, कि दिस अमाउंट हैज बीन जनरेटेड बाय माय एग्रीकल्चर वर्क्स, सो इट इज माय एग्रीकल्चर इनकम, सो इट हैज एन एग्जेम्पशन फॉर द टैक्सेस. सो टैक्स से बचने के लिए यू विल सरप्राइज टू नो दैट more than 100 acre agriculture land in Barabanki, which is owned by Amitabh Bachchan. And Amitabh never comes to, run a plow or something for farming purposes, but his, incomes. And if you talk about incomes of Amitabh Bachchan, let me clarify, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति, फिर कोई करोड़पति बने ना बने, every day Amitabh Bachchan is being करोड़पति. You will surprised to know that the fees which he charged for one episode, it is 4 crore. 4 crore for each, in the age of 84, 86. Is earning 4 crore for each episodes. This is what the craze of KBC. And this is what, if you talk about the total worth of Amitabh, it is more than 20,000 crore properties. Okay. And this is official properties. He has announced that it is going to be divided in 2 parts. One will be given to my daughter Sweta, and second part will be given to my son. Who's he? How lucky he is. Abhishek Bachchan. Still he is struggling. कोई पसंद करता है अभिषेक बच्चन की एक्टिंग? Is there anyone fan of Abhishek Bachchan? Nobody. अरे कोई बात नहीं, सबको मौके मिलते हैं, है ना. Okay, so this is what लिखो. Niti Aayog has given recommendation to impose taxes on agriculture income of big farmers. Niti Aayog has recommended or given recommendation to impose taxes on agricultural income of big farmers. Comma, income tax on agriculture income tax on agriculture income can be imposed by the state only. Underline it, important है. Can be imposed on states only because agriculture is a matter of state list in 7th schedule. Agriculture is a matter of, do you know what is center list, state list, concurrent list? So agriculture is a matter of state list, state list. लिखो tax is, या income tax is a major source of revenue income. Not income tax. Tax is a major source of revenue income. Tax is a major source of revenue income of the government, which is used by the government for public welfare. Which is used by the government for the public welfare and defense, comma, infrastructure, etc. Comma, but in India, income tax has narrow tax base. Income tax has narrow tax base. Approx only 6 crore people file tax return. Approx only 6 crore people file tax return out of 140 crore population. Out of 140 crore population. तो इंडिया में ITR कितने लोग भरते हैं? 6 crore. सोचो, it is approx 1 or 1.5%. यानी इतनी बड़ी जनसंख्या में केवल 1.5% को क्या लगता है? And it was the data when income tax exemption was what? 7 lakh only. Earlier how much? You must know that. And how much jump hasn't happened? Earlier it was just 7 lakh annual income. A person who was having more than 7 lakh was taxable. It was just 7 lakhs. So this year they have increased what? और उसके पहले it was just 5 lakhs. तो 7 lakhs जब था तो इतने कम लोग भर रहे थे. इमेजिन करो, अभी तो 12 हो गया, तो क्या अभी तो और भी कम भरेंगे इस चीज को लेकर के. और ये बहुत है, इंडिया में टैक्स एविजन इज अ बिग इशू. ओके, सो कुछ चीजें लिखो जो कल लिख के लाना. लिखो TDS, टैक्स डिडक्शन एट सोर्सेस. दूसरा इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 2025 जो नया रिफॉर्म्स हुआ है, एटलीस्ट 10 पॉइंट्स लिखना. इनकम टैक्स अमेंडमेंट 2000, यानी इनकम टैक्स अमेंडमेंट 1961 को अब क्या कर दिया गया? 25 बना दिया गया. इनकम टैक्स अमेंडमेंट या इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 2025. इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 2025. नहीं, उसमें अभी ये कर दिया ना, पिछले साल ऐसा था. कि आप जो टैक्स स्लैब में पिछले वाले में जाना चाहते हो, इसमें जाना चाहते हो। अब क्या कर दिया है कि आप अगर छूट लेना चाहते हो तो आप पिछले से आओ, अभी भी ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है, ठीक है। जो लास्ट ईयर का स्लैब था, यू वांट अ क्लेम, बट इफ यू वांट टू दिस वे 12 lakh, सो देयर विल बी नो एग्जेम्पशन। यहाँ पे कोई एग्जेम्पशन काम नहीं करेगा। व्हाट 80C 180D, these were the sections by which you can claim the exemptions, okay, so this is what, but everybody is claiming like this, ठीक है, इसी के हिसाब से बनना है। चलो, और कल हम देखेंगे जीएसटी, जीएसटी एंड बजट, बजट पे हम पहुंच जाएंगे, गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज टैक्सेस। थैंक यू।